How we doing today? Good. So I guess everything should be start with the holiday and wish everybody a very good holiday weekend. And we practiced today on Friday, so players would have an opportunity to be with their family over the holiday if they choose to do that. But from a scrimmage standpoint today, I think there was a lot of good things out there. I thought the intensity was good. There's a lot of good hitting. Tried to play more physical on the line of scrimmage. Offensively, I thought we were pretty consistent in terms of what we did. We moved the ball effectively and with balance, run and pass. Both quarterbacks played equally well. So, both of them got opportunities, and both of them, I thought, did a nice job out there managing the game. Defensively, we gave up probably too many explosive plays, need to improve on tackling. We didn't really do a very good job of getting turnovers, which has been a big emphasis for us, this year. We've got a lot of veteran players on defense who aren't playing. Justin just played on third down. Dallas is out. Braswell's out. Kool-Aid wasn't here today because of family circumstances. But it's an opportunity for a lot of young players to get a lot of reps, a lot of opportunities for us to evaluate those guys' progress. I think the big thing is especially for young players, is to stay focused on what they need to do to continue to develop. Don't get frustrated about the success you're having. Don't get frustrated about where you are on the depth chart, because we really don't even have a depth chart. But when you get an opportunity, go in there and take advantage of it. So that every time we see you play, we're saying, wow, that guy's doing a really good job, or that guy's not doing what he's supposed to do. So, today we really wanted to evaluate how guys competed, what their effort was, what kind of mental and physical toughness did they play with, how accountable could they be to go out there and do their job. And I think first scrimmage, that's something that we really wanted to see. But I like the progress the team is making. We're not satisfied with where we are, but we're not displeased with the progress that we're making. So I think the key is to look at this film and everybody learn and grow from the experience and improve, so we do things a little more consistently in the next scrimmage.
How did it look at the safety position today?
Okay, we played Malachi at safety today. We've been playing him some days at star, some days at safety. Caleb Downs is, doing well for a young guy, getting a lot of reps. Played Earl at star. Played several guys at corner since Kool-Aid wasn't here. Terry Arnold's been doing a pretty good job, having a good spring. We played him at star some too. So a lot of guys getting a lot of reps. But that's an area of our team we definitely need to develop some depth and get these guys some experience, so they're more confident in terms of how they go out there and play and execute what we need them to do.
What have been your impressions about the running back position, the depth at that position so far?
It's been great. I mean, all guys have done well. All four guys have had really, really good springs. They're all very productive players. All of those guys can contribute to the team in some ways. Doing really, really well. As long as we can stay healthy at that position, I don't think that's an issue on our team.
Go to the far side with Charlie.
You mentioned Dallas and Chris being out. Just what kind of opportunities does that create for some young guys? What do you see from the younger outside?
Well, they're getting all the reps, so I think they're learning. I think they're more confident. Whether it's Jeremy, Keanu, Q, they're all getting lots of reps and doing a good job. A couple freshmen. So, those guys are good players. They're leaders on the team. Certainly miss their presence out there. I think that's one of the biggest things right now, is the guys that would be some of the best leaders are not guys that are being able to participate. But the good news is the other guys that play with them and behind them are getting a world of experience, which is going to be very beneficial to them, in their development.
Coach, earlier this week, Hugh Freeze from Auburn said about a model for a spring game that could potentially be a team in the state against them, and maybe you guys against another state for charity, maybe help with Also injuries. Is that a model for a spring game you'd be interested in?
I didn't know anything about that. You know, we're always interested in helping people any way that we can. And if that's the purpose of what they're doing, that's certainly a good thing. You know, we've tried to do a lot of things to create opportunities for people in our foundation, and we'll continue to do that. If there's something that we could do along those lines in the spring game that would be helpful to somebody, I think it's a great idea.
Okay, we'll come back to Nick in front.
Yeah, for the inside linebackers, what do you see from them today, and what have you seen through the spring for that competition?
Yeah, it's great. It's, you know, Trez Marshall is doing a really good job. He adds a little maturity there. You know, the other guys are coming along. They're all getting better. They're competing well. We're moving them around. And, you know, Sean Murphy's, you know, done a pretty good job. So Jihad Campbell has done a pretty good job, and those guys are kind of rotating in and out of there. You know, Lawson is out for the spring. He's the one guy that has experience that would be a good player that would add leadership at that position. But this is a good thing that those guys are getting all those reps too.
Tony in the middle.
I've got two, but first, you mentioned the explosive plays. Just how much has Malik Benson helped out with that?
Well, I think, you know, Burton made some big plays today. Corey Brooks made some big plays today. Benson's had a really, really good spring and is capable of, you know, stretching the field and making big plays. A good all-around player, so he's certainly going to help us. Isaiah Bond has had a, you know, really good spring and is doing a really good job. So receiver corps has developed very nicely. Consistency and performance is what we need to continue to work on.
And then you mentioned all four running backs. Just is Rydell back, or is he still a little bit limited?
No, he's back.
Okay, we'll stay with Katie.
You talked about scrimmages being a chance to evaluate how guys can compete. Just what are some of the things that you and the other coaches see during scrimmages that you maybe aren't able to see during practice that kind of evaluate, especially maybe where some of the younger guys are?
Well, I think the big thing is, you know, I'm always on the coaches to let the players play. I think there's a time in practice even that you need to let them make the calls, let them do the things they need to do, because you can't do it for them in a game. So the next step of that is the coaches are off the field. There's nobody standing behind them making the calls for them, nobody telling them what to do. And I think that's, you know, sort of the next step in the progression of being able to play winning football, is to be able to go out there and have enough confidence in yourself and understand the system well enough that you can go apply it to whatever multiple, you know, sort of shows up. So I think competing in the scrimmage is an opportunity for guys to say, hey, I can be accountable to do my job. I know what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to slant and get a gap. I know what I'm supposed to do when it's a certain protection as an offensive lineman or a running back. But I got to figure it out. I got to understand the concepts and be able to go execute it, recognize what's happening, have the right eye control, and have the discipline to execute it on a consistent basis. And sometimes in practice, when coaches are helping guys, trying to help them do the right things, they can actually depend on somebody telling them what to do. Well, we'd like for them to know what to do, because sometimes you can't always communicate that, even if it's another player trying to help a player. So I think those kinds of things in scrimmages are really beneficial to young guys and their development.
Similarly to that last question, as you're working the new offense and with Tommy, or kind of what he's able to bring to the table, how do you evaluate, you know, what he can do today in a scrimmage, or how he's running that?
Offense was great today. You know, Tommy does a great job with the players. Players like him. He's taken our system and, you know, pretty much using our system that we used, added some things to it. I think, you know, the offensive line is doing a good job. We got fewer multiples in terms of how we can run the ball. Does a really good job with formations and how to use formations to create advantages for, you know, us on offense. So I'm really pleased with what we've been able to do on that side of the ball and how we've developed.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.